But you wouldn't stop though. You just carry on, man.
We're talking about soccer aid, everyone. And if you was an elite player, with a penchant,
that's a good word.
Smashing someone.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just love to just fucking muller one of them nuggets out of JLS?
Yeah, or any boy band, to be honest with you. Especially someone who thinks they're a bit decent, bit tasty.
There's a few on there though as well, isn't there? A few fancy themselves to be players, but like just nowhere near the level.
It was.
Listen, I don't care that Jose won Champions Leagues, had a 9-year undefeated record.
Yeah.
Him walking onto the pitch and booting Ollie Murs.
Class. I mean, we've all. I think he's living our dream there, isn't he? Basically, do you know what I mean? I don't mean being in the Old Trafford dugout. Yeah. We got onto that subject. By the way, you know him by now. You know who he is.
Regular now.
He's
mate.
a regular. Is that
Regular.
regular? We even talk to him when the show starts. We don't even ignore him for the first half hour and go.
By the way, this is up the RH.
Up the RH, Ryan Upper. We were talking about celebrations because Vegos loved his celebration, didn't he? And was he crying? It looked at one point like he may have been in tears.
Don't mind it.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. I think producer Cal, we've got a picture.
Who did he support growing up?
He said after the Anfield gate, he said FC20. He said as a boy I supported FC20 because he got accused of being a scout. In fact, he was even getting youth scouts whatever
dodgy though,
last night.
Was it? Dodgy touching the badge,
when he scored.
But do you know what? It is dodgy, and if I'm in the line behind him, I go, "What you doing?"
Yeah,
and I might swear at him.
Did you buy his? That's his celebrated last. I mean, I'm gonna love telling my grandkids that was the 4th goal in a 4-1 win over Real Betis in the last 16 of the Europa League first
Game
leg.
was over. What a picture though!
Yeah,
if he's got anything about him, that right now is a 30-foot canvas being painted in his living room.
100%.
That's a profile picture, that, isn't it?
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
I promise you, if I ever meet Wout Weghorst,
You will.
I am
that's your
stealing.
life.
I am stealing his phone.
Yeah.
Just to see if that's the background. Because if that's
gotta
not,
be your
I'm like,
screensaver.
give me that.
Class.
Why is this your fucking kids?
You have no right having your
great-
kids.
I love it.
Some
I love
emotion
that.
there, though, to be
It's
fair.
right. Do you know what?
Love
Let's have it right. If we all score for United, it never ends.
The game over.
Just Googling, can I have a wank in front of 75?
Yeah. Carl Walker will probably give me the answer to that.
Topical and relevant. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen. That kid last night forced a goal by sheer graft. Like, I've never seen anyone just.
He did have 7 warm-up shots.
I mean, he did. He did have. Was it you, right? And you might have stitched me up here today because I said this in my preview, but I did name check you. So if you did, it's on you. Is the XG thing true? What you said to me upstairs, or you just made out?
No, it's 100% true. We created and conceded less XG and more XG than basically the Liverpool result with us the other day.
So we had more expected goals.
I think the
against
Liverpool
Betis.
game was like 2.88
Right.
for Liverpool.
For Liverpool.
Ours was 3.06. And I think we had like 0.85
Yeah.
against Liverpool and they had like 0.54.
What's
So it was a far bigger game.
Mate, that's
What's your opinion on him? Weghorst.
Weghorst?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
Me and Ronnie have just done a video, which I think is going out Sunday morning, so check that out, where we've
Stephen
done
Howson
a head-to-head.
TV.
He's basically argued the case of that he would keep Tony Marshall, and I've gone, that's mental. I think if you bring in a proper number, like a real marquee, got a bow on it, number 9, in the summer, you give Weghorst the number 18 shirt or the number 25 shirt, and you say you become the backup striker. And I think he's all about that. Because if you're in all competitions, he'll play 25 games.
I think he has his value, doesn't he? In terms of like,
You know, my worry. I like the kid. Like, he gets about, he brings others in. My concern is, it's all fun and games when you're missing 3 sitters against Real Betis, and Marcus steps up as he always does and gets you a goal. Then, you know, we get a couple more and it's all right. We're sorted. Yeah. But if it's like, say, Chelsea in a couple of weeks,
it's got to be clinical, hasn't you?
And you get that one chance and it falls to him and it's a sitter and he misses and we, you know, and we're kind of getting away with it because we're not in the league title challenge really. We're looking good for top 4. Yeah. But if it was like this was a title challenge and this game mattered and we need a winner and he falls to him and he misses, then I think people are going to get fed up with it.
Is a geezer that's on loan from Burnley.
This is a very good point.
Right? Yeah. And that was the options was Tony Marshall, whose levels of ability are so much further than Weghorst's.
Yeah.
But the guy can't get fit.
No.
So like this is not the Manchester United Foundation. The first team is here just to win matches, and there can be no passengers.
No.
So come the summer, you've got to be ruthless with people. You say, listen, Tony Marshall was giving it right on a plate like that. Someone walked up to him and was like, "Would you like to be Manchester United's #1 striker?" And he went, "No."
No, I didn't fancy
How much
it,
you blame for Marcel on this front? Because
it's not entirely his fault, but it's not entirely not his fault either.
Okay, I understand
Yeah,
that. Where do you stand? Because you've obviously worked with these players.
It's difficult. Sometimes I just think like injuries can happen, can't they? And he's been, looking at the record, he's probably been very unlucky with injuries. But half of it's like, do you doubt like his mindset and whether he really wants to play and that, because listen, half them lads there will be playing with niggles. You're telling me that all them lads are 100% fit every game? There's no chance. Marcus played. He played a season with, what was it, a broken back?
Marcus had run
Spinal.
Marcus, I've said this before, he needs saving from himself sometimes, Marcus Rashford.
But lads play with injuries.
We've seen him hobbling around the pitch when he couldn't go off because obviously we'd use all that stuff.
I was listening to recently, and they were talking about how some players had to be perfect. Who was talking about it? They was talking about someone who didn't work. I think it might have been an Everton player talking about, this guy just didn't work because unless he was 100% fit, he was like, nah, I'm not ready to play. Yeah. And he was like, do you think I'm coming to training every day fresh? And he's like, nah, this hurts. I'm taking ibuprofen to go out on the pitch. Like, that's what most players are. I mean, Rio was an example. Yeah. Rio's in clip. Rio's in absolute tatters with his back.
Really?
Absolute tatters. Like, do you see the cup final thing? He recorded all of this stuff from home because he couldn't fucking leave the house.
And is that years of wear and tear, just playing with injuries?
He was getting jabbed up to play on a regular basis, and he was just like, whatever it took to get through.
And that's the difference. I just don't think the mindset with him, I don't know whether...
There's a part of me, I understand what you mean, and there's a part of me that sort of admires that and thinks, but then I think, you shouldn't have to play if you're not fit. If you're not 100%, or not 100% is a bit of a stretch. If you've got an injury or something's not right, and there's that chance,
the balance is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because especially when you can exacerbate it. Because Martial, remember the Everton game where he warmed up, and then there was these rumours, wasn't there? He's done something in the warm up there. He doesn't look right, and he started, and then 25 minutes he comes into the game, he comes off, and then he's injured again. And also Marcus Rashford, we use him as an example of someone who's ran through brick walls. He's probably hurt himself because of that, because he had a season where he scored 4 goals. And we can see that that's not his levels. Yeah, no. But he wasn't fully fit, and he was doing that thing of, I want to play for United, and I've got to do everything I can for the team.
There has to be a balance. Yeah. And with injuries, it's a difficult one, because when the physio sits down and goes, does this hurt? Well, what you feel like is hurting, the next guy along from you might not think is hurting.
That's the difference. Lads are playing with injuries all the time. There's been stories, Steve just said one there, I know a few, like, lads are playing with injuries all the time. It's about, you got to dig in. Listen, if your hammy goes and you can't run, physically you cannot run. And but if, like, you've got a little twinge or whatever, and you're still, like, say 80%, you're telling me that you can't dig in and play. Playing for Man United. So I think that's why fans are frustrated with him. Like, he is, on his day, he is very, very good, isn't he? But he's either hit or miss, but...
It's weird with Marshall, isn't it? Because he's one of those players as well, you seem to... If you can get everything right for him, he's unreal. Like, if he's fit and he's the first choice, he'll be one of those players where he's one of the best in the world at what he does. But it's like, if he's got competition for his place, or he's not 100%, he's not that guy, is he? No. He's just not. And I like the kid, but he's not.
Yeah. On the Vegas thing, when he first come in, I was like, oh my God, like, been at Burnley, didn't score for Burnley, or scored 1 goal or whatever. I was a bit reluctant, and I was on air. I remember going, oh lads, like, I don't know about this. He has surprised me in a way. He has brought value to the team in terms of, like you said there, if you want a 9, you need someone like Harry Kane who'll just bang him in. Like Steve said, you need a marquee one. But if you've got someone like him, sometimes he's been dropping into the 10 and putting the right shift. When you see like centre forwards like tracking back, slide tackling on their own box, and then, you know what I mean? But as a 9, you want someone to just bang the goals in. It's you know what I mean? It's like, it's difficult, isn't it?
In the new camp, I thought he had a decent game. He put himself about, but then the thing you remember is
he's judged on goals, isn't it?
Chance that fell to him in the new camp, and it's
judged
a
on
decent
goals.
Chance, and he doesn't convert. We've got a lot of people in the chat. Oh, my missus loves him, by the way. She's in the chat. Where girls needs to stay.
She had a tattoo,
she's debating it. And I thought,
get it done.
Hey, it's a sunny state of affairs when you're saying, this is the conversation I had this morning, he's no Marouane Fellaini. That's what it's driven me to. Abhinav Verma says, XG Philosophy said United had 4.18 XG yesterday. Bloody hell. Sam Z says, I like Weggy, but Cheech or Solskjaer type preferred. You can get him. Raft22 says, Andy Marshall hasn't played good since lockdown 3 years ago. He played well in pre-season, didn't he?
He always has a good pre-season.
What a joke, though, that you're trying to defend a player that all you can say from him is he did all right in pre-season.
He did all right when he came on for them 10 minutes against City when we were 6-0 down, or whatever it was.
Yeah, scored 2 or something.
To make the scoreline a little bit more respectable. Not much, but a little bit more. It's obvious for me that we need
You need players who you can rely on. Yeah. That's it.
100%, yeah.
That's it. Top and bottom, you just need players who you can rely on.
Do you think that Weghorst was Eric Ten Hag's first choice? Because there was talk of Felix, wasn't there?
No, he didn't.
I don't
think
for the January. I know he's obviously not his first choice.
I think Felix was pushed by the fact that he was available.
Right, okay. But because there was talk that Eric Ten Hag knew Weghorst from he'd been watching him and he thought he could fit in the system.
And he's been proven right.
Yeah.
He has done a good job, yeah.
And also you make a good point. Like it made me laugh when I think it might have been Barca at home where he got subbed at half time, and people were shouting at him, stood around me in Old Trafford, and I was like, "Lad, you got to be a bit realistic here. Did you honestly think the guy we got on loan from Burnley, who scored 2 goals last season, should be tearing Barcelona apart? Like, there's obviously a limit to what he can do.
He's playing his part as well.
I think his expectations are with United. Like United have always had like the Nistelrooys, the like Yorks, and so
it was a case of get the geezer in on loan from Burnley,
or have no one,
or nobody.
Yeah,
and then you are as well. And this is probably the thing that slightly worries me a bit about the whole situation is we're still overly reliant on Marcus Rashford. Even last night, it's like we miss a load of sitters until Marcus goes. Give me that ball. Here's a goal. Right, come on, let's get going. Do you know what I mean? And it's like if anything happens to him, you're looking at. I think Bruno, your boy's got, which we'll get to him in a minute, 7 or 8, is it maybe? Anthony, similar numbers. There's no one really you can go, there's a goal scorer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, right, anyway. As you well know, gentlemen, spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have the best tools for some spring cleaning in your pants. Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers.
Oh, yes.
Couldn't you have put these where I can reach them?
Yeah. Hey, we've even got props here. Look your best this spring and join the 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped trademarked. Use the code Howson to get 20% off and free shipping. Now, I know what you're thinking. What am I getting for me 20% off and free shipping? I'm telling you what you get. You're getting the Lawnmower 4.0. This is part of the Performance 4.0 package.
Let's have a look.
Yeah? You're getting the body wash, the daily shower gel, yeah? With the intense clean formula. Look at that.
Ball deodorant, right?
Ball deodorant.
You can even share that with your friends.
Check that out, guys.
On one.
Listen, me and Steve have been doing this for a little while, right? He has never smelt better, yeah? And it's thanks to this ball deodorant, yeah? So you've got the skin-safe technology, you've got the ball deodorant, you've got the weed whacker, which I need, nose and ear hair trimmer. I'm 43 years old. I'm finding hairs in places I never thought I would. Thanks to the weed whacker, I'm getting it sorted. Look at him stroking that lovingly. Can we have the single on, Steve, please?
Just one hand across my bag.
Oh,
lovely
who
wash
wouldn't
bag.
want the shed travel
What a
bag?
nice smooth bag that is.
That is one of the smoothest bags I've seen since I used this. Yeah? So, get your shed travel bag, get your ball toner, get your Lawnmower 4.0, get your performance package, get your boxer briefs with your anti-chafing technology, get your 20% off and your free shipping using the code Howson. There's a link in the description. Your balls will thank you this spring. And a big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast, as always. We've even got props, eh?
Very good, that, Jay. Down to a T, that, mate.
This is what we do.
Unreal.
Do you know what I mean?
Paddock boys, unreal.
Paddock boys, unreal. I wanted to ask you about Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Because it almost like, sometimes we have him on that often, we almost forget like this guy actually, coaches with these players and like spends time with them. Bruno was getting a little bit of flack, not by us, but by certain people. Because, he was the captain in a horrible result.
I saw I think you replied to him. There was a Liverpool journalist who was like, this is a disgrace, this, that and the other. And you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting that, isn't it? Do we really want to go down the route of what's a disgrace in football and what's not? Could have been worse. He could have put a T-shirt on, that's all I'm going to say. Bruno Fernandes.
That's what we should do.
Yeah. We missed a trick. We should have done that.
over everything we're wearing.
Bruno T-shirt. We're always dead witty when it's 3 days later. What did you make of it? Because Gary Neville made up something about him that he didn't.
No, that was mental.
Then there was all this talk about the linesman who he barely touched, and it was like, oh, can someone think of the children? You know, I mean, it got silly, didn't it? And there's all this call. Yes, he had a terrible game. They all did. Yeah. And yes, he should stop some of the histrionics. I'll give you that. But the idea that he's, burning him at the stake was just ridiculous.
The whole role model thing. Well, the kids will copy what they see on the telly. Yeah. Well, how many of them score 100 goals for United?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. It's meant with that one.
If my lad comes home and scores 50 goals in 80 games for United, I'll be buzzing. What did you make of it all? Because you know him.
I just feel like, going back to the game, I just think first 40 minutes, I thought we was all right. And once they scored, I just feel like, they got the goal half-time coming, and second half, listen, was a disgrace, wasn't it, from all of them. Like, with the Bruno situation, the moaning about, him pushing people. That's how he plays. He moans all the time. That's how he is. He plays on the edge. He's exciting. But the one thing that I didn't like in the game from him was saying before, on the right-hand side there, sub come on, and he just, went past him and he just walked. And I thought, that ain't right. That's someone like you who's based on like work rate as well as his quality. He works so hard, doesn't he? Like he rats around and stuff like that. That's not you. Regarding the Neville thing, that was a disgrace because when they've done a zoom, they've zoomed in in the centre circle, he just brushes his face. He's not saying bring me off.
No, I think
so. That's mental.
And also, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes Bruno gets moved around when there's a substitution. So maybe he's asking, where do you want me to go?
He didn't. He just rubbed his face.
That was it. Sorry, I thought he might be saying, am I moving here? Because I often
listen, if you think about it, like they're making a sub, what are they, that 5-0 down or whatever? 6-0 down. So obviously he's going to be pissed off, innit? Yeah. And he's like, what's going on? Let's get the game going.
Well, I think he was annoyed as well because Salah took ages celebrating. Also, with the linesman thing, Bruno at 5-0 down, he's still trying to get the ball quick. Of Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, okay, that's very naive. Like, slow it down. Yeah, let's just settle for 5-0.
If you want to get the ball off Trent, just give it him.
Yeah, great point.
Give it you back.
Yeah,
but
like,
where he shoved him, if there was a massive issue, the ref would have clearly like either sent him off or whatever. Didn't do nothing.
Well, the linesman grabbed him first, didn't he?
Linesman must have looked at him and gone, but...
The linesman grabbed him first and Trent Alexander-Arnold throws the ball at his stomach in front of the linesman. And then when Bruno goes to get it, the linesman walks across him.
It's very easy to, when a result like that, it's very easy to pinpoint them sort of things. Yeah, he could have been better. All of them could have.
Well, this is the thing. There was loads of people getting a bit giddy on the team selection. Now, I thought there was a different way of the team selection.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a single choice in the team selection, which is an 8-goal swing.
I don't think
that's a pretty reasonable point, actually, Stephen. Yeah, it's not like you go, if Wan-Bissaka starts, we win.
Well, I was surprised that he didn't start.
I mean, I would have started him.
I would have started him. Yeah. And listen, I like that. I like that.
It's not an 8-goal swing.
There's none of the choices do I ever go, tell you what, 1-0 win United if you played that one.
Yeah.
No,
if you'd have started Wan-Bissaka, it'd have been 1-0 United. Guarantee. Yeah. Like, no, it's not. All of them. Not one single decision was an 8-goal swing. Not one of them.
No, it wasn't.
If you go through the team, who gave a good account of the South that day?
Well, none of them.
None of them. They were crap, weren't they? Even the lads that we've been raving around. Yeah.
Martinez, I thought he was injured, but I don't know if he was because he's played last night. I just think he maybe had a bad game.
Well, was it his third game in a week? He's probably crippled. He's always getting on.
And
a
also,
bit, isn't he?
It's funny that for 50, it wasn't 50 minutes, it was 45 minutes. They were all right, and then they were goose. They were gone. Yeah. It's almost like they just fell off a cliff.
We looked dangerous the first 40 minutes, like on the break.
I was saying last night, like at the match, I can't remember a player having such contrasting halves as Luke Shaw did as well. Like that first half, I thought he was mint. He was causing them problems.
If I speak.
He's a problem.
Oh no! Right, okay.
He's still not changed your opinion on.
No, I think he's been great this season.
Yeah. But remember ages ago, you was like Luke Shaw.
But do you know what it is like with Luke Shaw?
I'm only saying what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, of course.
And I'm not digging him out because, like I said, everyone was. But that first half, I thought he played well. In the second half, like the rest of him, it was shocking. Peter Kelly says, imagine the outrage, this is a good point, if Bruno punched up a DJ in a nightclub for not playing the song he requested, they'd be calling him for a lifetime ban.
When it Phil Collins?
I mean, that's a jailable offence anyway. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I quite like Phil Collins, but yeah, that was Phil Collins, wasn't it? Yeah. Right. I mean...
In a Scouse accent.
Harry Lakin says, up the RH. Ross Murphy says, AWB form has been better than Delo since coming back from the World Cup. It's weird how them two dovetail though, isn't it? Like, beginning of the season, it's all about Delo. After the Brentford game, when it was the Liverpool and Leicester and Southampton, he was outstanding, Delo.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Someone you've worked with again.
Yeah.
And then post-World Cup, I feel like Wan-Bissaka's been a little bit more reliable. And you saw it against Newcastle, didn't we, in the Carabao Cup final.
We've seen him doing one-to-ones. Do you know who it is that he's working with?
Who?
Wan-Bissaka.
No.
He
Fuming now, it's not me.
Well, you better have a word.
Yeah, well, he was
No.
doing one-to-ones in the summer. And I'll
Oh,
be
I did
honest,
see that.
yeah,
It was
they
on the
didn't-
Knutsford, wasn't it?
They didn't look great.
No, they was poor. He was doing... No disrespect, guys. The guys, you're not the RH. He was doing the ones where he played into him down the line, he's taking a touch and coming inside and stuff like that. Seen that?
It didn't
Yeah,
look...
dead.
It didn't
Sorry,
look high
guys.
level.
You're on your own journey, but dead.
But can we just be honest about it? Like,
Yeah,
we know what
Yeah.
that level's supposed to look like up
100%,
close,
yeah.
and it didn't look at that level.
No.
But whatever it did, you got to give him credit because
Fair play. Listen,
if that was the first week, they've improved him.
100%.
Do you think he's one of them, Wan-Bissaka, who's got the raw talent is there? He just needs a coach who can get it out of him and maybe manage him properly. Do you think that
he's in the studio?
I
right
think
his
all
United
of them,
career.
like I said this so many times, he should
Yeah,
not have a
Rich.
job doing what he does for himself. He should work at United and come in at lunchtime when they're finishing up, their weights and their team sessions, and then there should be a buffet of like who wants to do 1v1s.
Yeah,
And they might have a technical one for just all round, like just go and improve, sharpen up your technique. There might be a defending 1-to-1 guy because technical defending is so deep. There's books and books and books of knowledge that the very elite defenders won't even know that they know. But if you work with them 1-to-1, they'll give you so many
Details,
nuggets that there's so many people can learn. Like we think, Benny McCarthy's doing a great job. Well, don't you think a centre half version of a Benny McCarthy could be doing a great job, or a fullback version like
Very
a Dennis
good,
Irwin, just coming in and working with them?
Rio would be unreal.
Would he not fancy that, or is he too busy with?
He's way too busy. And
No, I
obviously
know.
lives down
Someone
south,
like
doesn't
him would be like
he? Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Someone to do that because the details. Well, you know yourself, like with the Paddock stuff. Coaching is not just about you do this. You got to break things down. Like lads learn differently and stuff like that. But Wan-Bissaka, defensively, he's brilliant. It's just going that way. He's improved.
Some aspects defensively,
he's improved
because I think there's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
defensively.
I think he's better than Dalot though at defending. My personal opinion.
Depends on the team.
I think they both suffer from it. I think they both, if they get confidence, gets a knock or whatever, it can affect them for weeks.
I think if Wan-Bissaka gets a player that he knows is going to run him, like a Zaha or a Sterling, he's padlocking.
Did you remember the difference between when he was up against Sterling and he was up against Foden? Sterling had in his pocket for about 2 years, didn't he?
Couldn't work Foden out, could he?
No,
because he was coming, he was drifting in.
Like Foden kept going
off him. Yeah, he's running off him,
and it was like you could see Wan-Bissaka was like.
That's why I don't want to ever just say defensively he's mint because there's so much more to defensive. Yeah. I don't think he can defend a back post.
Oh God, no.
I just think 1v1 because you see him obviously 1v1. Everyone raves about him. Causing Spider-Man and all that.
As soon as he saw it was him, when he went through against us, he was through 1-on-1 when Wilfred Zaha when we played Palace at Sellers Park.
He said he knew he was coming.
Yeah, he said when I saw Aaron, I knew he wasn't going to score.
I think if you're an opposition player and you're a winger, and he's up against you, you'll be very conscious to get at him 1v1 because you that's what he's good at. Whereas with Dalot, if I'm a winger, and again no disrespect, you probably want to get at him.
You saw it
but I think he marks the space in the channel a touch better as well, and maybe
positional sense is probably better.
He communicates a bit better as well. I don't think Wan-Bissaka speaks.
Yeah, you saw it in the League Cup final. Wan-Bissaka in that second half, thought he had one of his best games for us.
Yeah. Well, that's why they brought him on to steady the.
And also, Delo was on a yellow one as well, and you thought they're going to, because they were play acting all game, them lot. Serge Andre Hansen in the super chat says, what new goalie can handle the pressure being number one?
Tough question.
Yeah, because, with the whole De Gea thing, we all love De Gea, been one of our best players over the last 11 years, whatever it's been since he's been here.
Dean Anderson done.
Sorry?
Dean Anderson.
Dean Anderson doesn't. He hates him, doesn't he? I think he hates United, doesn't he, Dean Anderson? He hates us. What's he called it? Criminal, the way they've treated me. But we saw it again last night. I'm not saying, it's all about last night, but we've seen it a few times this season, distribution-wise, inviting a little bit of pressure.
Look at you trying to keep it on topic.
I know, I'm sorry, Steve. I am. I'm sorry. It's Turgie's fault with his first ever super chat.
Love that.
Mentioning the thumbnail. And we will get to the worst Nick Cage film soon. But we'll be here all day with him in that one.
Face Off such overacted.
What? Well, that's part of his charm, innit? Have you
gone
seen
there
the film that
already,
he's brought out
Jay.
where he plays Nick Cage?
Jay. Right.
No, I know he plays Nick Cage in every single film that he's ever made.
Right. No,
Let me rephrase that.
But
David De Gea, lad.
Think
Come on.
about my
Yeah.
opinion
David De
of
Gea,
Nicolas
boy.
Cage.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm sitting down to watch Nick Cage play
No,
Nick
no,
Cage?
you're not. It's. Let me find it. I had it on. It's me falling asleep film.
But do you know what? So every time this happens, right, I'll have a sneaky little watch of Gone in 60 Seconds because I love the cars, right? And obviously it's got fucking Nick Cage in it, hasn't it? Right? And the missus is like, you don't even hate him. He's like, no, I'm like, shut up, I'm watching the cars.
Yeah. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I know you want to call it something else.
Wow.
And it's he plays that the one that's in everything at the minute. Is it Pedro Pascal's in it? You know the dude.
Is this the meme that I keep seeing?
Maybe.
Show me Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is in the. Is it The Last of Us? And he's in Mandalorian.
Lad, you're confusing me.
Yeah,
with all these
I see a
films
meme
here,
of him
lads.
laughing.
Yeah, so he's in it, and Nick Cage plays
Oh,
himself.
he's in Narcos, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's really good actually. So yeah, Nick Cage plays a version of himself, and Pedro Pascal is this big time drug kingpin who hires Nick Cage to come to his party, his birthday party or something, and it sounds like it'd be right up your street. So I think you should watch it tonight. And then
I'd rather watch
it.
Make Us Dream with Steven Gerrard.
Really? Wow.
Big statement that. They're cropping that up now. That's getting cropped, 100%.
Make Us Dream with Steven Gerrard. What's that about? When he cost them the title?
I don't know. I keep seeing it on either Amazon or
Slipped on the
Netflix. I
ice.
think it's an Amazon one.
Oh, is it the Istanbul one?
I don't know, Jay, because I ain't watched it. The same way I'm not watching that.
What did you think about? I know off subject.
No, it's all right.
Carragher.
There's no such thing as being off subject.
Carragher's.
It's Friday.
You know what do you think of him on commentary, laughing and stuff like that?
To be fair, I don't mind
Mental.
that. Mate, right?
No, I hated that. The last goal, he's laughing.
Why is Gary Neville not allowed to be upset United have lost, but Jamie Carragher's allowed
laugh.
to be the most biased Liverpool fan
Nah,
ever?
it was bad that game though, Jay. Listen, like
I mean, we had the volume. We was doing watch on the side. The volume down. Mate. I wasn't really hearing it, and
he's
obviously
laughing.
I was
One of the
sulking.
goals went in. He was laughing. I was thinking, if that's Neville, he's getting like.
The thing with Gary Neville,
crap
right,
for that.
is Gary Neville. Towards the end, when it was like after the game, you could see he was fuming. He'd had enough of Graham Souness's nonsense, and he was like, going for him.
He's mental,
but
isn't he?
a lot of the time, Gary Neville plays
How
it
long
down.
on air do you reckon you could? Yeah, he does. He's over neutral, if anything.
Yeah.
Whereas all of the Liverpool
He didn't used to be like that
pundits-
though.
No, I think
Neville.
he's still thinking
He's
about
changed-
that.
he's
bit for
changed his way
political
now.
Career.
Yeah, I think all of the Liverpool pundits go in there basically with a Liverpool hat on.
Yeah.
Like none of them are neutral. Graham Souness ain't neutral.
They've always been like that, though, as far as I can remember. And in many ways, it's almost admirable.
Yeah.
They
rally, the circle of wagons, they stick together and all that sort of stuff. Whereas ex-United players don't really have that attitude a lot of the time. They don't really, some of them do, like Rio obviously wears his heart on his sleeve and he's a big red. Others will be a bit like, they either play it down or
Keane
they're not
gives it a
bothered.
bit of both sides, doesn't he? He's a
Neville,
red, isn't he? But
and you can see it at times with Roy Keane. I think Roy Keane comes from a place of, I'm angry at the way United have fallen behind.
But he still talks about the other teams and gives them credit and stuff.
But with Neville, it's like, I think he overpraises other teams. I mean, I'm not talking about Liverpool scoring 7 goals.
But when that was
praise
happening,
him that much.
When Carragher was doing that, I was expecting him to not bite, but like, you know what I mean? But he just didn't. He stayed professional, to be fair to him.
I mean,
I know it's his job.
I couldn't do that, mate. I'd have lost it. Game over, innit? We're all getting cancelled if we'd have been on comms there. Woz says, I was convinced Weghorst couldn't score on... Oh, this is a bit close to the bone, but I'll go with it. I was convinced Weghorst couldn't score on Epstein's Island. Glad I was wrong. Happy for him. Ivy... Was it you that used to say Jeffrey Epstein was murdered?
No.
In every video?
Oh, I mean, he didn't kill himself, did he, Jay?
Right, okay. I thought it was. I think this was back when we used to be over there. Ivy Trickster says, upgraded membership to first team.
Jay, let's just roll it back a little bit here,
Yeah.
right? You've seen the lists,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, those lists are like a phone book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mental who's been
Well,
there.
hang on a minute.
I was looking at them lists thinking, I'm probably going to know some people that have been here. Look, the amount of people that have been.
Like,
It's everyone in it.
You're telling me you've got suspicions about the fact that the camera was turned off around the same time he killed himself?
Jay,
What is
it's
up with
a
you?
maximum security prison.
Yeah.
Why
I
did the camera
Steve,
go off?
you've spoken too much weed, son. There's
Listen,
nothing
anybody who's
unreasonable or
watched-
suspicious about it.
Do you know what? If you watched season 2 of Prison Break, when they're trying to like frame them and do all that sort of shit, and you go, yeah, this has happened. Whether it happened with Epstein or not, there's some fuckery afoot here. I saw some stuff when I was in the army that makes you go, what now?
Wow.
What, like absolutely bananas things, like
You
with some of the operations that were at play, some of the undercover operations that the military take part in that you find out about will blow your bollocks off, where you just go, how are you doing that? So to take that to the shit that regular soldiers find out about, let alone the shit that you ain't never finding out about, because there's loads of those operations, and then add that to the Americans who are way more off the chain than anyone else. There's all sorts of shit going down.
Who was that lad you had on your MMA podcast?
Dean Garnett.
Is he the one that was into all his conspiracy theories, but was so articulate with it?
Very articulate, and very wrong on a lot of it.
Yeah, very wrong. But I was watching it, and I started off watching it thinking, this kid's just chatting nonsense, he's off his head. And by the end of it, I was believing him. He was selling it.
This a while ago.
What's crazy is one of the best coaches in English ever.
Is he?
Yeah, fully off his nut.
He's off.
He's just tapped.
Got like Illuminati and all that. I remember watching it.
Is he one of them? Yeah, conspiracies.
But I was like, the
brilliant
guy.
coach, Mohammed Mokhtar's coach, one of the best coaches.
No wonder, because he can convince you. He probably convinced me I'm a great fighter. He convinced me of everything. Like I was like, I started off like, what is this guy on about? And by the end of it, I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Like, he makes a good point here. Yeah, I need to watch that. Like it was really good, and he handled it really well because he wasn't like mocking him or anything, but he was getting him to chat about it.
Was he like
so enjoyable?
Was he saying some mad stuff where he was like, no? Did you go along with it, or did you go, no, I don't agree with that?
Just
like,
ask questions.
Yeah, just let him explain himself.
Yeah.
Like, well, where are you getting that from? What makes you think that?
Yeah.
And he had a reason, and I think his reasons were flawed.
I'm surprised with him. I thought it would have just like if he didn't agree with it right in there.
The other thing is he could fucking swap
He could just snap his jaw out.
Rear naked show. First person to pass out on the podcast.
Shut up, you dick.
Exactly.
He's like that on the table, like tapping out.
Steve knows what he's doing. Inaki Navarro says David Raya would be a very good keeper, a good shot stopper, and very good with his
Brentford,
feet. Also, yes, has 1 year left on his contract. Good transitional
he's not signing,
keeper.
Is he?
Would you have him?
Maybe.
The keeper situation.
I just want to see a plan, man. Yeah, I just want to see I'd love to know what the. Oh, you're never gonna know, just until it happens. But I'd love to know what the medium long term plan is. If someone's going, let his contract expire. We'll bring him in there. We'll do this and that. Like, I got a video coming out this weekend on Evan Ferguson.
Oh yeah, I keep hearing about this kid.
Yeah, I watched him the other day.
Depending on how much you get him for, because I think you're gonna have your ass handed to you on him because he's legit.
Yeah.
But if you could bring in, let's say you go for Osimhen and he ain't available, not having it. All right, well let's look at Kane. If you get Kane and him in with a plan that he takes over from Kane in 3 or 4 years, succession planning, you might have done some business there. And I'd love to see the clubs having that level of detail of succession planning. You know, there's no point buying a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old.
No.
What's the point?
I would break the bank for Kane.
I
break the bank for Kane. And like you said then, if you can get someone like him. I watched Stoke versus Brighton in the FA Cup and he was an handful. Like for his age.
Unit.
Oh my God. He was just palming people off. Oh, he's quick, powerful.
There's a lot of like 18-year-old Rooney about him.
Shut up,
yeah, he is. You know, he's good though. He's like, you know, like Nistelrooy was just when in the box his movement, like 6 yards, he was just always there. He scored and he's good, very good player.
Maybe even you get in there now and you go, how's about we take him, he comes back on loan for 2 years.
Yeah.
But he's ours.
Yeah, so he's still playing and developing.
That's not a bad shout. Yeah, there has to be some sort of
plan,
like you say.
I just want to know there's a plan. If he said, look, De Gea, we're not getting value for money of him because he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. No, we are making do, or you're accepting certain things rather than we're not getting the best player in the world or the best goalkeeper.
So is his contract done at the end of the season, De Gea's?
I think it is, isn't it?
Is it expiring?
There's a +1 in there on him.
He's got the option, the club or him? Well,
it's the
club. The clubs.
The thing with De Gea is, it's not necessarily about him as much. He probably would have got away with this if this was Jose or whatever. It's the style we're trying to do, and it just gets badly exposed, doesn't it? Because it's all... Last night was probably amplified it.
You know what? This is a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Then it might not. But again, you're coming to a point where, renewing him, it might be very expensive to renew.
Yeah.
And then you've got to extrapolate, okay, so we renew him and he gets even parity or a pay rise, which is what he's going to go in for, surely. Well, okay, that means Marcus's deal is going to be this. That means...
It gives other people the option,
exactly.
the door open then, doesn't it?
And then you end up with the Barcelona situation where you're $1 billion in debt on wages. Or you rein it in, you've allowed Pogba to go. Yeah. You allow Tony Marshall to go because he's on $250 a week. You allow the likes of Phil Jones to disappear off the face of the earth in terms of the wages. And then
he's when not
you
even
sit
in the
down
building,
with Marcus,
Phil Jones. Don't go in the building, Phil Jones, he trains in the gym in Crew.
Does it?
In Crew? In Crew, yeah. Don't have him in the building no more.
Didn't do comms?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I heard it wasn't great.
I've heard a rumour that he's not even going into the club. Just goes to a gym. Isn't
it mental that he's still getting paid $1 a week for that?
Mental.
Is he?
I think they just wait until it... how long's his deal, though? Because didn't he sign a new deal? Mate, that is mental.
But even at the time that was signed, everyone was like, whoa.
Yeah, what's going on?
Could it not be... Like, is there any point in keeping him? Could you not just pay him what he's owed?
I think he'll try and go MLS somewhere like that. That'd be a great move for him.
It is sad.
MLS.
Doesn't speak the language, though.
We've had a bit of breaking news, which is the first for this show ever.
Yeah.
If you care. Barcelona have been charged with corruption over payments to former referees official.
Give us them 2 fucking Champions Leagues, you dirty bastards!
Can you imagine? Imagine if you just went turbo.
Hello, we'll pick them up. Don't fucking worry.
Yeah, 2 Champions Leagues, and while they're at it, we'll have those titles at City one as well.
It's all coming up Millhouse.
It is.
Come on.
It is. It's all happening, kids. This is breaking news. Barcelona have been charged with corruption over payments the club made to Jose Maria Negreira, former vice president of Spain's referees committee. When I was over in Barcelona, the day after the game, I went and did the paper talk, got some papers out. Everyone thought I did it in a prison cell because I ended up doing it in front of a black wall, which is pointless. But all the papers were focusing about this. There was none of them cared about United. United was like, you have to turn over a few pages. Every single front page was, this is popping off. Something's going to happen. This isn't going to go away.
Shambles that club at the minute,
so it looks like...
Mate.
Honestly, how they've been allowed, like the way they sign players, they're like, you're $1 billion in debt, you need to get like 300 million off your wage bill. Yeah, don't worry about that. We've just pretended. Like, they've kicked half the contracts down. PK ain't getting paid. Like, someone needs to step in and go, lads, you're $1 billion in debt with a buh. Like,
that didn't help.
It's cheating.
No, it is.
Strange.
It is. And it's like, it's all sort of, like you say, coming up Millhouse. Yeah, it's...
They make you. Jose Mourinho was right. They make you believe that they're doing it all nice and this, that, and the other. They had UNICEF on the shirt. That was the first sponsor that they had. But they're corrupt.
Yeah.
And they are devious.
Did Mourinho call that? Yeah.
Yeah. When he was Real Madrid boss.
Remember when he was like walking around sticking his finger in coach's eyes?
Yeah, I mean he's not blameless here.
He was just.
Remember when he went there with Inter and he's running on the pitch the semi-final?
Didn't he? What was it?
What a game though!
Mad game.
Didn't he go mad at, who was it? He was going mad at, like, didn't he fall out with Casillas or something? Because Casillas had messaged PK or something.
Yeah,
didn't you find out there was a text message going on between the Spanish players? And he banned it.
Mourinho lost his shit because the Madrid team was getting into the Madrid papers. So he would walk around the dressing room, just grip phones out of people, and look at the call history and look at what they've been texting and stuff. Fully lost his shit.
Freak.
Yeah. Also, Madrid, after he poked, was it Villanova he poked in the eye?
Yeah, I think he just walked over and poked him in the eye.
Fucking have one of them. Boop.
Yeah.
Right.
You never seen it?
No,
he just walks over to him like, just like proper Mourinho swag and just goes...
He's done some mad stuff, hasn't he?
He's fucking entertainment, innit?
He's funny,
Bring him back. Someone called Chelsea. Fucking do the deed.
We have had some box office managers off the pitch. Like Van Gaal was box office, wasn't he?
Off the pitch.
On the pitch.
Remember when he fell over against Arsenal? That was like funny.
That's class, that. Yeah. Come on.
Madrid had a big tifo in the stadium. And then denied, which they'd allowed to get into the six. It was like the whole side of one of the ends. It was enormous. And then Madrid was like, we don't know what got in there. And it was like, short Mourinho, obviously, your finger leads the way, or your finger points the way, or something like that. The next time Barcelona played them. Top tier shit.
Top tier, mate.
We've had another bit of breaking. I mean, what is going on? Breaking news.
Wait. 2 lots of breaking news.
This is unbelievable.
Exclusive.
This is I won't go as far as to say it's exclusive. It's literally everywhere. But
trying to build it there.
If you want to, no, it's all right.
Call it exclusive. Neil Custis does when it's second-hand news.
There's been a lot of digs on here today. I like it.
Well, this is what we do.
I love it, mate.
He fucking feathers his own nest.
There's the simple answer to that one.
All right for him.
Yeah, exactly. You get no sympathy from us. Scum. Subhuman scum. Gary Lineker is to step back from presenting Match of the Day until an agreement is reached on his social media use. So he's having a week off until they realise we're not going to stop you doing anything. And he'll come back and he'll tweet what he wants. And that'll be the end of that, I reckon.
I saw some excellent coverage of this. People are more upset with his politics views than they are with the head of the BBC donating money to the Conservative.
It is absolutely pathetic. And you've got
the
all
BBC's whole neutrality stance.
Yeah, and you've got all these whoppers, right, who love free speech, these GB News lot, who say free speech, cancel culture's gone crazy, all about free speech, until someone says something they don't like. He's a freelancer.
Corrupt.
He can do what he wants. He's not employed by the BBC. I did a freelance shift at the BBC last week. I fucking hate the Tories and I tweet constantly. No, I'm not Gary Lineker, but if that's the policy, that's the policy.
The BBC's whole neutrality stance, they'd be like, because that's what their thing is all about, innit? Yeah. So anyway, so Gary Lineker's like, this is all about the new Tory government. It's a little bit Nazi-ish, so we got a Nazi on.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the BBC in a nutshell, innit?
Some people say that was bad. He disagrees. Like, not everything has two sides to it, and you don't have to. And also, the whole impartiality thing is nonsense. Haven't they pulled one of David Attenborough's shows because he says the government needs to do more about climate change? Now that's an outrageous statement, saying something as horrible as that.
So they pulled his show.
Like one of his shows has been
mental.
taken off iPlayer
Just
because it's
off.
like
You're not allowed an
right.
opinion,
It is
innit?
literally impossible to be completely impartial all the time on everything. You can't do that.
I do a good job though.
Yeah, you do. You do. I'll give you that. They should follow all the...
Is two places that never work. MUTV, BBC.
Yeah, that's very true, that, actually. But I love it if they did have... I love it if you did a contract at the BBC. Just
see how long it lasted.
Yeah, like, I think they'd actually take you off air during you being on it, after you was live tweeting as you were on it, saying, I'll tell you what I think of these dickheads. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you're more bothered about what Walker's Crisps ambassador's tweeting than what is actually going on, give your head a wobble. Yeah. That's my take on that. I think we covered the David De Gea thing, though, didn't we?
We did.
We covered
I think so, yeah.
I think we covered that extensively. A few people in the chat. Illa United says Glazers out, Qatari in. We don't know what's going on with that in a minute, do we? But do you think it's going to be the Qataris? Sorry, not the Qataris. Sheikh Jassim, the private citizen. What are you looking at that for? He was the head of the bank because he was very good at banking when he was 27. Right? He was really good at maths. That's why he got that job.
1, 2, you know, he gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. With a calculator, he's fine.
Honestly, it's irrelevant. But I didn't want the Glazers.
I know. I'm decided. I just want. Can we just rejoice when they go? Can we just have that bit and then worry about the? Can we just enjoy the moment of them?
Can I finish my sausage roll before we worry about what the next lot are doing?
Yeah. Can we do that?
Because
it's like we're taking them going by.
Is it me or has it gone quiet?
It's gone quiet.
Isn't it?
It's so much cash.
Yeah.
It's so much cash.
Do you see this latest though with these Elliott Muppets, Elliott Management, and there's talk of them with a hedge fund?
I don't know who they are.
Right.
I heard about it.
Of them.
I heard about it. I read an article that, honestly, journalists could have done a lot better because it didn't fill me in. It just basically framed a tweet, and that was it. So I was like, cool, now I don't know what's going on.
Was it a Gary Lineker tweet by any chance?
No.
Or are they taking a break off from that?
Wayne Lineker did a tweet.
Wayne Lineker?
Wayne, come to Ocean.
Oh, my fucking...
Come to Ocean Beach.
I've just upgraded my phone, so all my apps are still downloading.
Oh, so Wayne Lineker.
Can't get on my WhatsApp.
Didn't two don't get on?
Wayne Lineker basically put a tweet, and it was like, it was a lot of refugees, and does anyone know the way to Gary's?
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Where is Wayne Lineker?
There he is.
Let me have a look.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, no.
So Wayne, it looks like an Instagram post, actually. He's done a post with all these. In fact, can we, I'll try and, I'll send this to your producer, Callum. Oh, right, okay. Let me send a screenshot now. Wayne Lineker, who, you know.
Have you seen the All Right fans dubs of Wayne Lineker and Jamie Redknapp? They are sensational telly.
No, I've not seen that.
The what? The All Right fans? What?
So it's called All Right fans.
Right, okay.
Right.
Check that out.
He does like
when
dubs.
you can get that up, get it straight up.
He does dubs of Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Roy Keane.
Oh, I think I have seen that. Yeah,
fucking outrageously funny. Yeah, and Jamie Redknapp. They've got Jamie Redknapp like acting dead hard.
I've seen them because
I can't do it justice. It's too funny. But they have Wayne Lineker on there, and it's it's genius. Is all I'll say.
We've got the picture of Wayne Lineker did. This is what he did. So a little picture there. Isn't it nice when your brother sort of piles in on you?
Oh yeah.
Where's Gary's house? I mean,
and his whole thing was, I'm going to tweet. I'm going to go with no comment on this one, guys. I mean, I think for the safety of everyone, we should go no comment on your entire career, Wayne.
What is his career?
I no comment, Jay.
Yeah, it's like proper baffling, isn't it? He just sort of came from nowhere. Wayne.
Professional redacted, I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a professional redacted. Yeah, 100%. I think that's you've used the
professional redacted, turbo redacted.
100% redacted. 100% turbo redacted.
Yeah.
Like, there's no disputing that. Like, he's almost proud of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Number
know,
one,
strange.
redacted, turbo redacted.
Turbo.
the nation's
Professional
redacted.
How's he got famous or because of his brother?
He got famous
By being
for
a turbo redacted.
Yeah, basically that's what he did. He's about 73, and he's he has partners who are,
19-year-olds. Yeah.
he picks them up from school.
Oh.
So allegedly. So yeah, it's all popping off in the Lineker household. Gary Lineker might be leaving Match of the Day until he sorts out his social media, until the BBC work out what they're going to do with him. I like Gary Lineker. We met him once, didn't we? Well, you interviewed him, didn't you?
Oh, he was in Qatar with us, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, sorry, we met. He was here once, wasn't he? Or did I imagine
Yes.
that?
No, he was upstairs.
I was about to say, I thought I met him.
Yeah, he was upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, what was he like? I only said hello to him.
I think he's ace, me, Gary. I think he's ace. So he played under Johan Cruyff, right? Which is a
All
treat in
roads lead
itself.
to where,
yeah.
Stephen?
You know where.
1991 Cup Winners' Cup final. You thought we weren't going to mention it on this podcast. Get a
So he
grip.
played under Cruyff for Barcelona. Not a lot of people know that. Gary Lineker was a player. People just think he's the Chris
Bagsman.
Jagger that works on, that's on fucking Match of the Day. Genuinely, some people have no idea that he was an absolute baller. Yeah. Serious goal scorer. Went to Japan at 31, 30. Like a banana's time to go when you look at like how long players are playing nowadays. I don't know if he had injuries or whatever. And I not spoke to him about that. But did speak to him about Johan Cruyff playing for him. And had a brilliant conversation with him about it. And he was talking about there was only 2 foreign players allowed at the time. Gary Lineker being one. I think he was after Stoichkov and somebody else, I think.
Mark Hughes left at this point because Mark Hughes was around that time when he had
was,
bought in there.
But he also said like Mark Hughes just didn't.
He struggled, didn't he?
Didn't learn the lingo. Didn't really make any sort of attempt to stick around or anything like that. And he said so. I mean, Gary Lineker was the quintessential fox in the box striker. Yeah. He'd get on the end of your crosses. Any loose ball, he's sticking it away. Well, Cruyff played him right wing. So he said he'd have so much more respect for him if he'd have just come out and said, look, I can only have 2 foreign players. I don't really want you, so I'm going to sell you if I can. But he never did that. He just sort of like stuck me on the right wing and didn't talk to me, basically. But he said he was great. Even in that circumstance, he goes, he was great. He goes, he was still the best player in training. He goes, when they would do rondos, he goes, he was the best player. He said that he was so much that Pep does that he can see Pep also played for him.
Just pick things
because
up
he
from him.
goes, there's this element of wanting to be seen as a genius. So rather than just doing what you've done every year, every week, just wanting to do something different so people go, oh, look at what the different thing that he did.
Good that.
But it was a great conversation talking about Johan Cruyff. I'm obsessed with. So any little bit of detail I can get about
class
him.
for you, wasn't it? That.
And Gary's good people. So
I like him, and also, even if I didn't agree with him, which I do, to be honest with you, a lot of the time, not all the time, he's got the right to say it, and I don't think he needs to get sacked from Match of the Day because he says things about what's going on in the world.
What's Meghan Markle's harasser said about it? Because I bet he's had all sorts to say about it.
Well, isn't he like his mate, sort of? So
I have no idea.
I think because I saw him, that Matthew Said, is it Matthew Said
to him, would it?
Times or whatever?
Whether he's his mate or not, it won't matter to him, would it?
No, but I think he was quite sort of...
Still tweeting about Ronaldo, I think.
So he was at some Sports Journalist Awards the other night.
He was.
And he dedicated his award to Meghan Markle.
He got an award? A journalism award? Gone downhill since I got
Probably just because the Ronaldo video did all sorts.
Give him... Oh, that's a good point.
Was there journalism in there, or was it you throwing softballs at him that he could volley away?
And then saying he's not going to go to Saudi Arabia. Get your facts right. That's not happening.
Look at his cover. cover photo.
And this is the guy. Another one. Arsenal fans all wanted Arteta gone, and now they're rejoicing at the fact that they're top of the league. I mean, fair enough for most of them, but he doesn't care about Arsenal any more than I do. Right, we're going to wrap it up there. Steve, where can people find you? What are you up to this weekend? Who have you got?
Top of the league tomorrow.
I will get to these super chats before we wrap up, sorry. Top of the league tomorrow. Top of the table class. Where are you nowadays in the league?
About 5 games down than everyone else around us because people are refusing to play us. You didn't have a game for a month until last week.
Disgusting.
That's why we played that Opper's lot.
Mate. Well, your lot. Can we talk about that? Who was in this team? Are we allowed to say?
Yes, it was Danny Simpson, Stephen Ireland.
Nias.
Omar Nias was an absolute freight train.
Wasn't he scoring every 5 minutes?
Nias is a good player.
Do you know what? There was a point, we had a penalty at 3-1. If Rice sticks it away, it's 3-2 and it's nice, respectable, good game. And then we missed it and Nias went, all right, give me the fucking ball. And then went and scored like 4.
His levels,
you know what,
you've got starting players, but come on, you're talking about a kid here.
I think the thing is with
Premier League striker that scored 2 years ago for him.
Yeah,
he's only 32.
He's just signed for Morecambe today.
Oh, has he just signed?
Really? He's signed for Morecambe today.
Got a right little firm, you haven't you?
It's like that game. It served its purpose. Like the Paddock lads, like look, I know it's the scoreline, like whatever. It was just about like development, and it was just a good game, wasn't it? Like the football and
you got choices, right? I could have picked any random team, beat them 6-0. What did I learn? I don't learn anything. I don't pick us friendlies to win ever.
Yeah,
if you go and look at all of the friendlies I've ever booked us, it's always reached as far as I can. You know, to step 3, step 4, or whoever. Or
and even playing against like not just the way we like move the ball, it's just 1 and 2 touch triangle. It's good, isn't it? Even for the lads, like they can pick up things. It was class to be
Stephen
fair.
Ireland, 1 touch play out.
Stevie's class, mate.
A lot of these players, how old are these lads as well?
Stevie's 36, I think.
That's what I mean. They're not. You know what I mean? Like they're not in the 50s.
No, it was just a good game, mate. Like I think everyone got what they wanted out of it. Like we got 90 minutes.
Made the score look a little bit lopsided. It wasn't quite what he made it look like, but
was he like when was it Jermaine Defoe that time at Soccer Aid? So remember when he was just like scoring at will?
He's a professional footballer.
Yeah,
there's no two ways around it.
Yeah,
and the thing is as well, like
Morecambe League 1.
League 1, yeah, I think.
Do you know what I mean? So like, he's probably going to start for them, I imagine too. Yeah,
no, he should do easily. Like, but if you think about, you got Stephen Ireland there, putting him on a plate for him, he ain't going to miss him. Like, and it sounds mad when we play on a Tuesday night, like 9v9. Half the time he does miss him. He has about 1,500 chances and he misses them. But in that game, he was just like
that contract signed at Morecambe.
There's a ringing endorsement out the Morecambe manager.
I think he was on trial for the Paddock. Stevie got into him as he was walking out. Nah, it was. Listen, it served its served its purpose. We enjoyed it as well. Like,
if you don't think I didn't ask, come on, man.
Sorry, go on.
Nah, Stevie was trying to get his list of players who he wanted.
Yeah, he don't stop him.
He loves it, mate.
He's always on it. Like, and he's always getting opportunities as well to chat.
I got a grip of Danny, and I was like, Danny, come on. I was like, you might have won a Premier League. Loads of people done that. How many people do you know that have won the Cheshire League Division 2? I said, think how good that'd look.
He said it as well. Jay said it to him as well.
We had him on here. He was good. He was good.
His class, mate.
Did you see the story he told on that podcast the other day? I was good. We didn't ask him about when he met Ronaldo. No, when he sneaks out.
He's a great guy, Danny.
Yeah, it was
great guy.
It was good stuff. Abhinav Verma says, just don't like Gary Lineker defending Woodward. I don't, but I think I don't believe that he should be stopped from sharing that opinion, even if it's an opinion I agree with. I agree with what you're saying there. Me Road Trip says, think we'll get a green and gold kit when they go.
The new owners would be the new owners need a good fan advisor, and I'm definitely available to be able to just tell them if they do that.
That would be funny.
Stevie will MUTV U-turn.
Yeah.
Nope, I ain't working for MUTV.
I'm sorry, Steve. Jesus. What the hell?
Hello.
Howson in the house.
He wasn't allowed for years anyway. I had a meeting with a producer once, and he was chatting to me, and he's like, we'd like to use some of your presenters. This is when I used to look after Full-Time Devils.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, and he's naming all his presenters, and I thought, he's not main Howson. Howson's like our main one. And I went like, what about Steve? He went, no.
Why?
Yeah, did he say why?
A certain player has seen...
Say the player.
I was told...
No, come on, Jay. I've not heard this.
I was told, and this is what... This side of me in, this is what I was told. He went, Ashley Young has seen the videos. That's what he said to me.
Didn't you do the Rio thing with him as well?
No, he's not come on yet.
That's what... So, I'm not, I'm only keep going with the information I was given. I was like, right, okay. So yeah, Danny says I want keepers to save shots, strikers to score. Sick of this Trent gets 15 assists but can't defend crap. De Gea isn't winning games but he will save them. Yeah, maybe. Listen, loads of good stuff there in the chat.
Yeah,
Thanks to everyone who got involved. Make sure you go and check out Stephen Howson TV, Stretford Paddock FC as well. Go and check out the RH Elite Coaching. We'll put links in the description for that as well. Big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast. That's been Stephen Howson. That's been Ryan Up at Abhijit Moy. This has been The Brew. Thanks for watching.